Hi everybody, how's it going today? Thanks for watching another video. In our heifer barn here this afternoon, we got Eli and Ian's down there riding this little push bike. And we've got Elise with me here also. I don't think she's been on the video yet. It's Wednesday here today, but it's Papa Day. No daycare today, and Taryn's working at her business here today, so the kids are with me. Grandma and Grandpa are busy. Opa and Oma are busy. So we just did a little work in the office, and we're working at getting a couple fans hung up here in the heifer barn. Was gonna go check that out. Our electrician is working on getting them wired up here, so I thought we'd look at that, check that out, and explain to you guys what we have going on here. How's it going, Eli? So we're putting two fans up, one right there, one right here. The plan in the future, if these work good, is to add one, continue adding them down the liner every other support beam. The reason we want to try them here in these first two pens here to start with is we always struggle with some pink eye. So in this pen, the heifers enter freestalls for the first time. Yeah.
I got a beautiful body.
You did?
Yeah. Let's go.
So the heifers come from the straw pack into these freestall pens here, and I don't know if it's partly because of that stress of that change, but we always struggle with pink eye in this pen, and it's year round, not just in the summertime. You can see there's quite a few heifers with patches on, so those heifers that are currently being treated for pink eye. Yeah, Eli?
This.
That's a big rock?
Yeah.
You want to save it over there on the wall? Even if we go onto this second pen, we'll see the odd one here. I don't see any. Oh yeah, there's one there that's got a patch on. So we treat it for pink eye, put the patch on. That patch will fall off in a couple weeks or so, and it takes care of it, but still I'd like to prevent that from happening. And it always seems like the air is not quite as good in this part of the barn here, especially when there's limited wind. So these are going to be big ceiling fans. I think they're what are they, 24 feet or something like that. And they're going to run all the time, year round, more than likely. Even in the winter time, they'll just turn at slow speed just to get some air moving in this part of the barn, get some clean air down to the heifers. So we're gonna try this out here, see if it works. Potentially it should help with keeping their bedding a little bit drier. So in the winter time, in the summertime it's not a problem. In the winter time, with bedding with separated manure solids here, that bedding can be on the wet side if it's really humid in the barn. So it should potentially help with that as well. But the main goal is to try to get some cleaner air for these heifers when there's no natural air being moved through this barn. So they've got this lift. They're gonna get them all wired up, and my plan is to use this lift while it's still here, if Chris is gonna let me do that, so that we can get the blades put on, and then we need to put some support cables on. I might try to get that done tomorrow if we can, but that lift is having some issues, so we'll see. Where did Ian go, Eli? Should we go see what the guys are doing by the calves? It's a couple days later here. Been working on the fans here off and on the last few days. Wanted to do some filming, but just didn't have time to. But I've got a little bit of time today. It's Sunday today. Want to try to get these finished mounting these fans. We got some cables to put on, and then the blades to put on. The electrician's coming back tomorrow morning to hopefully finish wiring these. We'd like to fire them up here tomorrow or the next day, if possible, depending on how things go when they're working on them. I think we should be able to get this done here this afternoon. We've got 3 cables. I've got 2 of them put on here already. That one right there, this one, and then this one right here. I need to run across to that beam over there. So they keep this motor stable, because up there essentially is a pivot point, so that we can hang this thing straight, and then we straighten it with these and keep them tight with these. Was a little bit messing around because the cables they came with weren't quite long enough, so I had to get some different cable in town, which wasn't a big deal, but got that one done. That one's tightened up and level. Just need to get this last cable here ran across over there. Then we'll go in the shop and get the blades and put those on. I did mention when I started about the pink eye in these pens, so we are also going to swab some of these heifers here that are just when they're starting to develop pink eye, just to see if it's not a bacteria that we're consistently dealing with, and potentially have a vaccine made. We've done that in the past, but didn't really have very good success with that. But I thought bare minimum I wanted to swab them just to see what the results came back as, just as a plan B if this doesn't work quite like I think it will. When we were down below moving these heifers here on a day like today, it's mid 80s, not quite gonna hit 90 today. Humid and no air movement in this barn, and it gets hot in here when there's no air, no wind, which doesn't happen very often in North Dakota. But when there is a day like today, it's stuffy down below when you're at the heifer height. Up here it's not too bad. I am getting a little bit of a breeze here. Down below by the heifers there was almost none, so I think these fans should help a lot. At least I'm hoping they will anyways. Should know here in a few days, and I'm hoping because by next weekend it's going to hit, we're going to be 90s it looks like, Thursday, Friday, and at nighttime barely get below 70. So that's typically when we have heat stress, it's when we have multiple days above 90 or we don't go below 70 at night. So I'd really like to have these running by then anyways. But I'll get this last cable hooked up and then show you guys when we're putting these blades on here. It's a couple days later here. Back in the barn this morning. We've got the fans. Our electrician got the fans hooked up on Monday. Didn't quite get the automatic controls figured out. There was some issues with the drawings that came with them. They were for an old version, but got them going Tuesday, running off of a sensor that's mounted in that little building there. So there's some safety on there to shut these fans off if there's a lot of wind in the barn. And then we've got them set on temperature control, so they'll be running at its slowest speed. I think we've got it set around 40 degrees, and then they'll ramp up to, I think it's 58 degrees we have it at the moment, where they'll turn full speed. And the speed is controlled in between those temperatures relative to what the temperature is. So they're running full speed here at the moment. It's going to be a hot day here today. We've got these put up just in time for this heat spell that's coming here. It's supposed to be 90s today, and tonight it's not going to get below 75 it looks like. So that's not going to be good for the cows and the heifers. Typically if we get below 70, even if it's above 90 during the day, the cows are not affected too bad. They lay down a little more during the day, eat a little less during the day, but they'll catch up at night with eating. But if it doesn't get below 70 at night, we usually usually have decreased eating, which means decreased milk production. These fans definitely move a lot of air in this barn. I can feel quite a bit of wind here. We're gonna try it like this, running them completely full speed. We might adjust that down a little. There is quite a bit of air movement here. We don't want to create any dust down here either with the bedding that the heifers are laying on, so that could potentially cause more pink eye issues. So we'll just have to just watch that a little bit. We might adjust the top speed and reduce that a little. There is a lot of air moving here, which when it's going to be hot, that's going to be nice for these heifers. Overall, pretty satisfied with how our heifers are doing here. We'd just like to get this pink eye under control a little bit if we can. We are, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but we are gonna do some swabs of heifers that are starting to get pink eye or on their way, just to see what we're dealing with, if it's bacteria, what kind of bacteria it is. We could potentially make a vaccine if we wanted to go that route. My guess, it's probably a bacteria and just the stress from heifers moving to this pen. Air quality not quite as good. That gives that bacteria a chance to attack the heifer's eyes, take advantage of depressed immune system. So hopefully by creating a better environment here for these heifers, that's going to eliminate that, but we'll just have to wait and see. But if you have questions, comments, post them down below. Appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.